You are having a perfectly normal day, and someone drops a tiny, subtly passive-aggressive comment. Everyone else around you seems to brush it off, but your chest instantly tightens. A massive, completely disproportionate wave of sheer, blinding rage floods your nervous system. You spend the next 4 hours entirely consumed by it, flawlessly winning an imaginary argument in your head and dissecting every single syllable they used. Society loves to look at this and immediately slap a convenient label on your forehead. They call you too sensitive, tell you that you have anger issues, and suggest you download a meditation app to just let it go. But here's the absolute truth that the self-help gurus will never tell you. You aren't broken, and you definitely don't need anger management. That sudden rage you feel over a tiny comment isn't a psychological defect. You were just witnessing a highly advanced neurological radar screaming at you because it detected a threat that everyone else was too blind to see. What society lazily dismisses as having a short fuse is actually known in psychology as carrying an extreme allostatic load. But let's drop the medical terms. Here is what is actually happening in your nervous system. When you absolutely lose your mind because someone sent a cold, one-word text message or left a dirty cup on the table, your brain isn't reacting to the text or the cup. It is finally issuing the receipt for the last 6 months of your life. It is the biological bill for every single time you smiled and said, "It's fine," when it absolutely wasn't. For the exhausting, soul-crushing daily performance of being the bigger person, just to keep the peace. While most people walk through life wearing noise-canceling headphones, completely oblivious to the subtle manipulations, the shifting tones, and the hidden agendas around them, your nervous system operates like an ultra-sensitive microphone. You feel the exact moment the energy in a room shifts. You hear the condescension wrapped in a polite compliment. Your brain processes so much hidden emotional data that your mental bandwidth is constantly maxed out. So when that tiny, final annoyance happens, your system doesn't just get irritated, it forcefully purges the overload. So, why did your brain develop this hypersensitive radar? Pop psychology will tell you it is a character flaw. They will say you lack emotional maturity or resilience. But from an evolutionary and neurological standpoint, this isn't a weakness at all. It is an elite, highly advanced survival mechanism, a hyper-vigilant boundary defense system. Think about the people around you, the ones who let others walk all over them. They tolerate disrespect, they smile through obvious manipulations, and they excuse terrible behavior because they are completely cognitively numbed. They literally lack the neurological hardware to perceive audacity when it happens right in front of their faces. They are asleep at the wheel of their own lives. But your brain is different. It is wired for absolute justice and flawless pattern recognition. When someone crosses a subtle line, lies to your face, or drops a passive-aggressive remark, your nervous system doesn't need 3 business days to process what just happened. It instantly recognizes the hidden threat, the disrespect, or the manipulation. And the moment it detects that threat, it deploys the most primitive, fiercely loyal bodyguard you have: anger. That sudden flash of rage isn't a sign that you are broken or out of control. It is your brain's way of violently rejecting unacceptable behavior. It is your nervous system screaming, "I see exactly what you are doing, and you do not have permission to treat me this way." You aren't crazy or unstable for getting angry so quickly over a small comment. You are simply the only person in the room who is actually paying attention. But wait, let's pause for a second. What about those people who never get mad? You know exactly who I mean. The ones who are endlessly patient, who just shrug off every insult, who are practically worshipped by society as enlightened Zen masters. Are they actually better than you? Are they more evolved? Let me blow your mind. Absolutely not. In reality, many of these constantly calm individuals aren't experiencing deep inner peace. They are often just experiencing extreme conflict avoidance. They are so deeply terrified of confrontation and so incapable of defending their own borders that their brain simply shuts down its threat detection system altogether. They don't react because they have subconsciously surrendered. If you go back 10,000 years, the human tribe did not survive because of the guy who was super chill and understanding when a predator approached the camp. The tribe survived because of the hyper-vigilant person who noticed the grass moving slightly out of rhythm and aggressively sounded the alarm. You literally have the brain of the protector. But here is the tragic flaw in your elite system. In the modern world, there are no actual predators hiding in the grass. There is only a passive-aggressive relative, a sarcastic comment on the internet, or a stranger cutting the line at the coffee shop. Your brilliant, high-performance engine is burning premium fuel on cheap, insignificant people. So how do you stop this without losing your superpower? You don't need a breathing technique. You need a psychological weapon called clinical detachment. So how do you actually use this hyper-vigilant radar without burning yourself out? You don't walk away, and you certainly don't take a deep breath and let it go. Ignoring it is exactly what passive-aggressive people are relying on. They operate entirely in the shadows, dropping little toxic hints, expecting you to either explode so they can call you crazy or stay quiet so they can win the interaction. Instead, you are going to use a psychological weapon called the Projector Method. The next time someone drops a condescending remark or a subtle insult, you are not going to retreat and you are not going to defend yourself. You are going to take that massive surge of inner rage and use it as a power source to turn on a blinding spotlight. Look them dead in the eye, completely devoid of any emotion, and politely ask, "What exactly did you mean by that?" Or, "I don't think I understood the joke. Can you explain it to me?" Passive aggression cannot survive in direct light. By simply forcing them to explain their hidden subtext out loud, you instantly transfer all the psychological discomfort from your nervous system directly back onto theirs. You don't have to raise your voice, you just turn on the lights, hand them the microphone, and comfortably watch them stumble over their own toxicity. You do not need to develop a thicker skin, and you certainly do not need to become numb just to make the people around you feel more comfortable. Your hypervigilance and your quick anger are not defects. They are the guardians of your peace. They are the undeniable proof that you are fully awake in a world where most people are simply sleepwalking. Stop feeling guilty for having boundaries that actually function. Your anger is a flawless compass. Do not suppress it. Just stop wasting its premium fuel on people who do not even have the psychological depth to understand the damage they are doing. If you are tired of being told that your complex mind is a disorder and you want to finally understand the hidden psychology behind your behaviors, you have found your exact tribe. Hit subscribe, join the community, and let's decode this noisy world together. See you in the next one.